My name is Daniel, I'm 36, and I've always believed in trust, maybe too much. I run a small but growing marketing firm, and my life has been one long routine of deadlines, client meetings, and late-night strategy sessions. I married Laura 5 years ago, convinced I had found someone who complemented me perfectly. She was charming, ambitious, and had this warmth that made everyone around her feel at ease. I thought our bond was unshakable. That illusion lasted until last Thursday. It was my sister Megan's birthday dinner at a quiet Italian restaurant downtown. Just the three of us, plus a few close friends, nothing fancy. I had dressed carefully, shirt pressed, shoes polished. I wanted it to be a night full of laughter, not awkward tension. Laura, as always, arrived slightly late, but with that confident smile that usually melted my frustrations. We had barely ordered appetizers when her phone buzzed. She glanced at it then, without hesitation, answered the call. I assumed it was work. Laura was always juggling emails and client calls, but the moment I heard her voice, something in the tone made my stomach tighten. It wasn't casual. It was soft, careful, almost conspiratorial. Megan, who was sitting across the table, noticed it too. I could see her eyebrows furrow slightly, a subtle shift in posture, as if she had caught a scent of trouble. I tried to ignore it, thinking maybe I was overreacting. Maybe I was being paranoid. But my instincts, honed over years of managing teams and negotiating tough contracts, screamed that something was off. Then it happened. Megan leaned slightly toward me, whispering under her breath, "Daniel, I think she's hiding something." I froze. The words didn't need to be louder. They carried a weight that was almost physical. Laura laughed softly into the phone, her tone affectionate and familiar in a way it shouldn't have been. She gestured toward her bag, covering the microphone, but the damage was already done. I tried to maintain composure, nodding and smiling at Megan as if nothing had happened. My heart was pounding, and the world around me, the clatter of plates, the low murmur of other diners, faded into a blur. That call, that single moment, had planted a seed of doubt, one that would soon grow into a revelation I wasn't prepared for. By the time she ended the call and slipped the phone back into her purse, I knew something had changed. The trust one had built, brick by brick over 5 years, was now cracking, and Megan had seen the first fissure. The air between us felt heavier, charged, and I realized that the night we thought would be simple and joyful might turn into the one where everything shattered. After Laura hung up, she tried to join the conversation as if nothing had happened. She laughed at Megan's jokes, complimented the waiter, and even poured my wine with that practiced smile I once found endearing. But I couldn't shake the echo of her words from the phone call. The subtle intimacy, the familiarity, the hidden warmth meant for someone else. Megan leaned closer again, her voice just a whisper. "Daniel, I heard enough. I don't think this is just a work call." I nodded slightly, feeling a chill run down my spine. My mind raced through possibilities, each one worse than the last. Denial flickered for a moment. Maybe it was nothing, maybe I was overreacting, but every instinct in my body screamed otherwise. I excused myself briefly, telling Megan I needed a call. Outside, I tried to breathe, to focus, but I couldn't ignore the gnawing suspicion. Laura's actions had been careful, almost rehearsed, but the moment she thought no one was listening, she let her guard down. That casual call had revealed more than she could have imagined. Returning to the table, I forced a calm smile, keeping my eyes fixed on her as if nothing had happened. "Everything okay?" she asked, tilting her head, her voice sweet but slightly wary. I nodded, responding vaguely. "Yeah, just needed a word with a client." She accepted it, but her eyes narrowed slightly, sensing perhaps that my demeanor had shifted. Dinner continued, but the atmosphere had changed. Every laugh, every toast, every bite of food felt loaded with tension. Megan occasionally shot me glances, subtle nods that spoke volumes without a single word. It was clear she had heard the wrong kind of intimacy, the kind that didn't belong in our marriage. I realized that this wasn't just about a single call. It was the culmination of small, hidden moments, layers of deception that I had ignored or rationalized over time. By the time dessert arrived, I had made a decision. I would not confront Laura in public, not yet. But the moment we got home, I would uncover the truth. I would listen, observe, and find out exactly what she had been hiding. The betrayal, I knew, was only beginning to reveal itself, and the night that started as a celebration of Megan's birthday had become a turning point. As we left the restaurant, Laura held my hand, smiling, completely unaware of what Megan had overheard. I felt a strange mix of anger and disappointment, but also a cold clarity. Trust, once broken, cannot be ignored. It must be confronted, or it will destroy everything. And I was ready to face whatever truth awaited me at home. Back at home, I asked Laura to sit down in the living room. The house was quiet, the city lights faintly glowing through the blinds. I could feel my heart pounding, but I kept my voice steady. Laura, there's something I need to discuss. I began, keeping my tone calm, almost clinical. Her eyes flicked nervously, but she smiled anyway. Sure, what's wrong? She said, her voice light. But there was a subtle tension I hadn't noticed before. I didn't waste time with small talk. During dinner, the call you took, I said, watching her face carefully. Megan overheard it. And I heard enough too. The color drained from her face. Her hands twisted in her lap. Daniel. It's not what you think, she stammered, but her hesitation told a different story. I took a deep breath. Laura, I've trusted you for 5 years. I believed in us, in what we were building together. And this secrecy, this hidden conversation, it shatters that trust. I need the truth. No excuses, no lies. She looked down, biting her lip, a single tear forming at the corner of her eye. Daniel, I didn't want you to know this way. I've been seeing someone else, she confessed, her voice breaking. It started months ago. I didn't mean to hurt you. It just happened. The words hit me like a thunderclap. I felt anger, disbelief, and a profound sense of loss all at once. But beneath it all, there was a cold, steady clarity. I had known something was off, but hearing it confirmed the reality I had feared. I didn't shout, I didn't curse. I simply nodded, processing each syllable as it sank in. I see, I said finally, my voice low but unwavering. You made a choice, Laura. A choice that betrayed everything we had. And now I need to make mine. I stood up, walking toward the hallway. You need to pack your things. You're leaving, and I want you gone before tomorrow morning. I can't live in a house built on lies. She reached out, tears streaming down her face. Daniel, please, we can work through this. I love you. I shook my head gently. Love isn't about betrayal, Laura. You broke the foundation. And I can't pretend it's still there. Goodbye. As she gathered her things, the weight of years of deception lifted slightly from my shoulders. The house, once filled with laughter and shared plans, now felt empty. But in that emptiness was clarity, freedom, and the hard-earned understanding that some truths, no matter how painful, are necessary to reclaim your life. I sat back, staring at the quiet living room, and finally allowed myself a long, steady breath. The betrayal had been revealed, and the path forward was mine to define. Trust, once shattered, cannot be repaired with excuses. It can only be honored by decisive action.